Thanks for tuning in to another Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy video, where legacy is for the people. If you're enjoying our content, take a second to subscribe, hit that like button, or leave a comment on the video. These are a couple of ways that you can help the channel for free and support the legacy community. Thanks again for watching and enjoy the video.
Welcome to our first match of Buffalo Chicken Dip Legacy 26, held on April 25th. This is Carrie. I'm one of the tournament organizers for Buffalo Chicken Dip Ohio. Our audio was pretty bad when I uploaded these videos, so I'm going to re-record this after the fact. Jumping into our first match, we've got Joe Palazzo on the Izzet Otter tempo, featuring Storm Chaser's talent, Boomerang basics, and the brand new card to Legacy Flow State. And then he's paired up against Andrew Dick, who is on Boros Ocelot, but on kind of a unique take, featuring Sublime Soothsayer, which is a combo with dinosaurs on a spaceship. Hopefully we got to see that in a little bit. And our first match is underway. Looks like Andrew is on the play, starting off with a Guide of Souls. Whether the format's modern or legacy, it's a pretty strong start. Joe follows up with a Storm Chaser's talent, and he's got himself an Otter. And it looks like Andrew is untapping, and let's see what ones or two drop. Looks like an Ajani. That's a 1-2 punch. And man, this Boros deck is pretty strong. It's giving a lot of the blue-black decks a run for their money, which is really exciting in Legacy, to see a non-blue fair strategy doing well. So pretty excited to see this. The Boros deck is really popular at Buffalo Chicken Dip. It's one that you can pretty much guarantee to see and has a pretty good conversion rate. It's usually at the top table. So we'll see if Flow State is something that can help Joe kind of maybe stabilize against this, or hang with just the pure value that you get from playing creatures that have a lot of MH3 text on them. Looks like Joe's untapping. He's got a lot of cards in hand. We see a fetch on a Polluted Delta. And let's see what he grabs. Looks like the rest of his list consists of some Quarry Steelcutters. Dragon Rage Channeler is the only actual creature. 4 Mishra's Baubles, 4 Brainstorm, 4 Daze, 4 Force, 4 Bolt, 3 Boomerang Basics, 3 Flow State, 4 Ponder. So let's see what his follow-up is here. We got 2 mana tapped for Quarry Steelcutter. Trigger Prowess. And we have a follow-up Bauble for the Steelcutter trigger. Got another trigger on that Otter. I don't think Joe is going to be swinging into this cat token, though, especially being tapped out for a Lightning Bolt on a Johnny or just a removal spell in general. So while Joe looks like he's doing everything he wants to do, still kind of in a tough spot with his energy deck. Looks like we crack a Bauble. Looked like there was a white card on top of Andrew's deck. Let's see what comes out of that. Looks like Joe thinks about the attack and passes turn. Notably, Andrew does have that Caracas up, so that Johnny is going to be pretty well protected after this turn. We'll see what Andrew's follow-up is. Seeing 2 mana tapped and a Goblin Bombardment. Oh my gosh. This is pretty much everything he needs. And a Chrome Mox. Imprinting Dinosaurs on a Spaceship. If you haven't seen this card is pretty awesome. The interaction with it in Sublime Soothsayer is Sublime Soothsayer kind of has reverse cascade. You look for something with higher CMC or 3 or higher. So you can cascade into another soothsayer, but the goal is to hit the dinosaurs on the spaceship, and it looks like Andrew's got a single copy of Emrakul to hit off of that too, which is pretty cool. Uh, and then it gets suspend 3 off of Sibylline, I believe. And every time a suspend counter is taken off of it, you get a 2/2 red and white dinosaur creature token with flying and haste. So pretty cool card, pretty cool take on this Boros deck. It looks like Andrew has followed up with an Ocelot Pride, which is pretty good in this cat deck, and it looks like we're throwing the 2/1 Johnny token at the Otter, flipping a Johnny, and let's see where this 4 damage goes. Looks like Andrew's going to be taking out that monk token. And Joe looks like he is in a tough spot already on his turn 2, Andrew's turn 3 of the game. I don't even know what he has in his deck that can kind of stabilize from this. Looks like Andrew's up to 23, has already put energy counters on the Guide of Souls, and 8, 9 permanents for City's Blessing. So it looks like next turn that'll likely be turned on. We've got an untap from Joe. Let's see what he's going to do. And it looks like promptly concede. All right. Going to sideboards. We've got Andrew's list pulled up here. It looks like 4 Johnny, 1 Containment Priest, 3 Dinosaurs on the Spaceship, 1 Emrakul, 4 Guide of Souls, 2 Inti, Essential of the Sun. Really like that card, especially when maybe you have some of these clunkier top-end cards that you don't really want to draw, or he's got 3 Chrome Mox, and Inti just helping filter some of these draws looks really interesting. Sibylline Soothsayer, 4 of Voice of Victory, really strong card, 1/4 Aerolingus. Coming out of the board for Boros against Izzet Tempo, I imagine he's bringing these Red Blasts and possibly some Untimely Malfunctions. Can snipe a removal spell and get those Corey Steel Cutters. What he would be cutting, I'm not 100% sure. I'm not the expert here. Maybe that Containment Priest can probably go, and maybe trimming on Sibyllines, but well, I guess we'll have to see what game 2 looks like here. Another cool include in these Boros decks is Lazotep Quarry, both for the sacking of the cat to flip your Johnny, but just giving you some late game staying power from something that's been removed, making a 4/4 Ocelot Pride seems like pretty good. So, yeah, really excited to see that one. That's a card that's been seeing a little bit of legacy play. The Nick Fit decks are also playing that, so very cool include. Um, Going over to Joe's list, we kind of went over some of these earlier, but looking at those 3 flow states, new card, really excited to see that in play. Um, Dragon's Rage Channeler, a lot of the standard Izzet elements that you would see. Storm Chaser's Talent is really cool, a fan favorite. Coming down for that with 1 mana, just making an Otter, but the rest of the card is not textless. So yeah, pretty cool card. What's Joe going to be bringing out of the sideboard? Cast into Fire could take care of 2 cats for 1 or for 1 spell. It's not often that you get 2 for 1. It can only do 1 damage to each of 2 1-drops or creatures with 1 toughness. Hydroblast is probably coming in, and probably not a lot else. We'll Yeah, we'll see what Joe brings in. This matchup seems pretty heavily favored for the cat deck, but we'll see. Excited to see what happens in game 2 here. Looks like Joe and Andrew are shuffling up and resolving mulligans. Joe is going to be on the play, I presume. Looks like they are both looking at 7 here. And you may have noticed the player cams are switched. That is actually on the left is Andrew, and on the right is Joe. So this gets resolved also later on in the tournament. Looks like Joe is going down to 6. Looks like Andrew might be keeping his 7. Seems like having a density of cards against the Boros deck is pretty crucial. Let's see what Joe can come up with here. Let's see. I'm seeing a Bobble, a Ponder, I think I saw a Thundering Falls, and a Steel Cutter. So looks like I'm not sure if Joe has another mana source though, but it looks like he's kept his 6. Leading on Thundering Falls, we've got a Surveil trigger, and we're going to dump a Bobble in the yard. And going to follow up with another Bobble. That leads me to believe that he doesn't have a second land. Going to look at that top card. Can't tell what it is. And it looks like he'll draw with Andrew. I think we see another Bobble as the draw for turn. I think I see a Force of Will as the last card in Joe's hand. And Andrew's going to start off with that turn 1 Guide of Souls. Let's see if Joe's going to fight over this. Oh, Andrew getting a Chrome Mox down also. Let's see what gets imprinted. A Johnny goes underneath of it. Wow. Oh my gosh, Andrew. We got the Guide Pride turn 1. Pretty powerful. And it looks like Joe has fought over the Ocelot Pride, which totally defensible. Hey, let me know in the comments what you think you would what deserves the counter more, the Guide of Souls on its own, or it seems like a situation where you can't not fight over that second card. But yeah, tell me if you would have fought over the Guide of Souls there. It's definitely worth a consideration. Looks like Joe has cracked a fetch. And we're probably going to see this cutter. Nope, we have a Storm Chaser's Talent. And a Boomerang Basics on the Storm Chaser's Talent. A little bit of value there. Get that back, get another Otter for next turn. Draw an extra card. So Andrew is untapping. It looks like he might have 4 cards left. Going into turn 2 at 3 mana. Attack from the Guide of Souls puts Joe to 18, or 17 after that Force and that Fetch. Andrew's cracking his fetch, and we're going to get a Surveil land. Main phase Surveil is interesting. Wonder if he's thinking he's playing around a Stifle. With that Elegant Parlor trigger, we have Bend and Arid Mesa, and it looks like we're going on to Joe's turn 3. I'm seeing, I think, a basic island was the draw for turn. Looks like we're going to tuck that nicely under our Volk. And looks like we're going to get a Steel Cutter down. It's got a prowess trigger there. And it looks like Andrew is tapping mana. It seems like he's trying to destroy that with an untimely malfunction, but I think that was a little bit of a misplay. I think Joe should have gotten priority back to be able to play that Storm Chaser's talent before Andrew could have untimely malfunctioned the Steel Cutter. So it looks like a little bit of a misplay there. So Joe should have a monk in addition to this. And it looks like Joe got in for 3, Otter's 1, Steel Cutter was 1 trigger, Storm Chaser's Talent was the 2nd trigger. So Joe's at 17, Andrew's at 16. And it looks like we've got a Lazotep Quarry. I wonder if, for the sake of playing around counter magic or other types of interaction, we're just going to go straight for making an Ocelot, a 4/4 Ocelot Pride. Looks like that's exactly what we're doing. A 4/4 Ocelot in the face of some 1/1s is not nothing. It's a pretty big body, honestly. Joe could definitely still have another Boomerang basics and try to get that out of play. He's going to have a hard time. He's not really going to be able to bolt it since the Ocelot has first strike with a prowess trigger from the Otter. It's going to be really hard for him to get that off the table now that it's out there uncounterably. Looks like we're getting in for 1 with the Guide of Souls. Joe's down to 16. Andrew went back up to 17. And we're going to move to end step with 6 permanents in play after he gets the cat. Looks like Andrew's sitting on 2 cards in hand. I think Joe has 3 possibly. Looks like a Bauble was the draw. Joe's got 3 mana. I see a Wasteland. Baubles Andrew. Looks like another white card. Couldn't quite tell what that was. And Joe is going to level up his Storm Chaser's talent to buy back a spell from his yard. Let's see what he grabs. Wonder if he snags that Boomerang basics to try to take care of that Ocelot Pride. And that's exactly what he does. Going to Andrew's turn, we're going to untap. I think he's drawing up to 3 cards in hand. And it looks like we're tapping 2 for an Ajani. Oh my gosh. Joe's blocks are not going to be great now. Otherwise, he risks flipping out a Johnny for Andrew. Notably, Andrew doesn't have a red permanent right now, which is, I guess, a silver lining, but he's still got a pretty big board presence. I think Andrew's likely got enough energy to jump something here. Let's see where he puts those counters. Again, remember the Ocelot's a 4/4, so yep. Ocelot's a 4/4, first strike, lifelink. Guide of Souls a 3/4 with flying. And it looks like Joe's just taking all of it down, taking 8 down to 8. And Andrew's up to 24. Looks like we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 permanents for City's Blessing. So next turn, that's going to definitely be online. Man, Joe needs a sweeper. We've been seeing in sideboards more. Some Toxic Deluge is coming in. I have definitely registered Pyroclasm before. And for our Underground Sea decks, or I guess just any black deck, Massacre is a great card against these energy decks. Doesn't always get everything if they've jumped something or if the Dejani's flipped already, but it can clean up a lot of cats. So definitely go check your bulk bins for Massacre. It might be a good one to pull out and put in your sideboards if you're up against this Ocelot Pride deck a lot. Looks like Joe pondered and shuffled off the ponder. Let's see what his draw is. He's still got that Boomerang Basics for the cat token. It looks like we're going to bolt the Ajani. Boomerang Basics the Ocelot token, and those are a pretty decent series of draws from Joe. It looks like we have 3 prowess triggers, so Joe's got 2 4/4s. I don't think he can just swing out, though. He's wasting the Elegant Parlor. And Andrew's got 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 power on board. So Andrew's sitting at 25, Joe's sitting at 8. Can't really swing into those cats. Looks like Andrew's going straight to combat, attacking with everything. Let's see what Joe does here. Looks like we're trading off with a couple cats and going to damage. It looks like Joe's taking 4, going down to 4. That leaves lethal on board for Andrew. He's got 1 or 2 cards, 3 cards in hand. It looks like 2 of them might be dinosaurs on a spaceship, which is funny. Looks like Joe's draw for turn is a cutter, but with the only card in hand, untimely malfunction on the cutter too. Oh man! All right, it looks like Andrew's gonna take this one. Oh man, another Ocelot Pride too. This Boros deck is relentless. Coming in, that should be lethal. Putting some counters on here for good measure. I don't think Joe's got any cards in hand. And Joe concedes. Andrew's going to be moving on to the next round. Thanks for tuning in.